Hey guys, I'm Simon.
And I'm Hannah, and welcome to the final episode of PolyWaffle.
Today's going to be a pretty chill episode.
Yeah, it should be pretty good. So for today's lineup, we'll be getting a look at Tess Diaz and how she lives life as an oil painter.
Then we'll be following Carolina as they give us a quick tutorial on making a cute piggy bank. Then after that, we'll be learning about Mark Laidler and his life as an art gallery proprietor.
Following on from that, we'll be taking a trip down memory lane of all the past segments of personal development. Then we'll be checking out how the theatre arts students down in Paran are holding up with their short plays.
And finally, we'll be taking a look at Scott Burns' favourite place as an artist, and then we'll get to relive the past bands we've had on the show. But let's get into it with Tess Diaz as she shows us her oil painting skills.
Hey, I'm Tess. I am a visual artist. I'm currently practicing oil painting on canvas, and I've got a Bachelor in Fine Arts and a Diploma in Visual Arts. My main inspiration was my auntie, my mum, so I've just grown up in like a creative family. I guess instead of playing with Barbies and those sort of things as a kid, I always did painting from a really young age. It's really important to have good lighting and a good studio and to have the right space because it is really messy. It's one of those paint, when you get it on your fabric, that's the end, you know. But also you need lots of different brushes. You can use different oils to mix. So I use linseed oil only because when I was in high school, we used to use turpentine, and that was, if you can imagine, like 20 jars of turpentine open over a long amount of time. And then now whenever I smell it, I just get instant headaches, and it's quite common for artists to get like sort of handshakes and stuff if they've been painting for a lot of years because of the chemicals. You'll learn after a while as well that there's a few colours that take a lot longer to dry. So the white, which I use in a lot, like to mix with a lot of my colours, takes a long time to dry, and red as well. Yeah, so there's a few colours that you sort of pull back from using a lot or you use at the very end. So I'll use colours and that sort of thing to build up a painting, and then I'll try and use white towards the end of a painting because it's usually when you do highlights and that sort of thing anyway, so it's the finishing touches of a painting. Oil painting will take maybe about a week to dry, so I could do from like one day sitting and just get over the painting and stop it, or I could drag on a huge painting for a month and I could still keep working on it and feel connected and feel like the paint's still wet and that sort of thing, like I could jump back into it easily. I guess I'm a bit of a shy artist. I don't really exhibit or anything. It's more of a personal thing, but I guess it's still early days. Like, you're an artist for the rest of your life.
Well, that was all right. I could appreciate what they were trying to say, and I was wondering whether or not this could be considered art, but then, oh well, never mind. I'm sidetracking.
Yeah, just a little bit, Simon. Anyway, moving on, let's head into Simon's favourite segment, DIY with Carolina and her piggy banks.
Hi, I'm Carolina. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a little piggy money box. Materials we are going to use are color paper, a recycled bottle with a lid, a scalpel, scissors, a ruler, a pencil, tape and glue. First step is to cut the bottle in half. The hull of the lid have to be smaller than the other one. Polish the freshly cut edges, join to two halves with the tape. Second step, with the help of a pencil, draw the hole and cut it with the scalpel. Third step, with the color paper, cut paper strips of 3 centimeters to decorate a small pig. When you have your decoration ready, use tape and glue to customize your little pig to your own style. With your paper strips, roll them into cylinder and paste them, forming the legs. Hey, don't forget to add the tail, the ears of your little pig, and with the black and white paper or color pen, design your eyes. Ready, now you have more fun way to save your money. Bye!
Well, I'm glad we learned how to make something useful. But now it's time to move on to...
Whoa, wait, you don't want to practice it at home?
No, I don't think I want to. I got a few projects on the back burner currently, so I think I have to give this one a pass.
Righto, fair enough. Well, moving on then, let's get on with our local art gallery proprietor, Mark Laidler.
My name is Mark Laidler and I'm the proprietor of Collingwood Gallery. Well, the business side is advertising, paying the rent, paying insurance, those sort of things. The other side is encouraging artists, looking after them. A lot of artists, their first show, they get very apprehensive, or can get very apprehensive. It's just ensuring the artist has a good time at the show, even if they don't sell. It's making sure they feel valued and it was all worthwhile. Artists can be difficult. They have a wide range of, how can I be polite about this? They have a wide range of social abilities. Some are very, this is the best art ever done, I want to sell it now. And other artists can be very shy and think their art's no good when it's very good. So it's dealing with a very wide range of personalities and types, keeping them focused on their work. Biggest challenge is publicity. It's impossible to get. If this was in New York, the New York Times would have a review of every gallery in New York every day of the week. No galleries get reviews in Melbourne in the press, except for the big ones, the NGV and the big commercial ones. So it's impossible to get good publicity for the artists and to build up a culture of art being worthwhile and important to a society. Okay, what I recommend to the artists is that they put all their works around the room and spend a good half day organising the flow of the pictures, the narrative. It's really important. You don't want, or you may want it, but you've got to be aware that you've got one wall, all your brown pictures and all your yellowy pictures are over there and all your blueies. It can be quite boring. So you can split them up, have different elements, different ratio, like a portrait and landscapes. How are you going to put those with each other? You want the whole exhibition to be telling a story about the artist rather than just whacking them on the walls. So it's a balance, it's getting artists to understand that white between them is good. A lot of artists bring in all their work and it really needs to be edited down. Because if you've got really good stuff and you've got some really lousy bits, you don't want the lousy bits taking oxygen from the good bits. So that's really important to get artists to understand that they've got to be self-editing, and pricing it is the other part that often needs help, and cataloguing it, and artist statements, all those things you need. And so I give all that advice, whether they take it or not, it's up to the artist. But sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But this show is a well-curated show because the artist is mid-career and he's had lots and lots of exhibitions. There's some of the artists, when they've only had a couple of shows, it all goes up and it's a mishmash. So there is a curatorial element of having a gallery that is important. The choosing of artwork is entirely up to the artist. I don't preview the work at all. If an artist wants to have a show, they just email me and say, I want to book that date, and I send them an invoice. So often I don't see the art at all until it's brought in. I don't see my role as being a gatekeeper to their art. It's just like everyone's got their own tastes and what they like and don't like. I'm not going to say an artist, your stuff's no good, I don't want to handle it. You reckon it's good, I'll go with that. Put it on the wall and we see. So there's no prejudging of the work. It is important. I mean, it'd be like writing a book and not getting it published. It's the same element, except in art, it's essentially self-publishing, I guess. But if their art doesn't see an audience or doesn't see the light of day, then, well, it's a personal hobby, I guess. But for artists who are keen to state something about the world or themselves, it's really important that they get it published on the walls. A lot of artists, they'll have their one show decide, oh, well, maybe I don't want to do that anymore, you don't see them again. Other artists, if it goes well and they get a response from their work, because they're painting for a response, mostly. It's an essential component of the art process is exhibiting.
Well, he seemed like a pretty nice bloke, and it's always going to be difficult dealing with a range of personalities.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely something that we all need to work on.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Hannah. But enough about that, we'll be taking a short break.
Yep, that sounds good. But before we go, here is what's coming up next. We'll be taking a look at a compilation of past artists and their personal developments, as well as checking on the theatre art students down in Paran.
And we're back. You know what, I'm feeling pretty rejuvenated. How about yourself, Hannah?
No.
Oh, all right then, well, let's move on to our compilation of personal development.
My beginnings were very much intensely quite traumatic. So when I was born, there was a lot of that sadness in my mum's life, but I didn't let that stop me from flourishing and moving forward. And my mother, being a natural artist, watching her and being inspired by her strength and her ideals to give us a great childhood and encourage.
The space in between for me is the space that you rest in between each breath. Just by focusing on the inhalation and on the exhalation and then resting in the space, that space in between each breath. And that automatically invites the relaxation response.
Well, I decided to be an actor. I think it was something that happened when I was quite young, when I was around, 14, 15 years old, and I wasn't really good in visual art classes, but I was good at things like English and drama, and I think the thing was that I was good at communicating. I was good at connecting with other people. That was my way of being expressive and artistic.
I think it was that disillusionment with the industry that I had committed my life to that led me to yoga. To be able to do something else and that was removed from that had a little bit more soul to it, more philosophy, and that was part of working with people and supporting people, and hopefully less damaging on the environment as well.
The thing that struck me the most was their incredible kindness and how open they were and how spacious they were. Many years later, like around a decade later, I remember opening it and something touching. And I knew when I left that day, I went, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to come back here. I will get back to you. And I knew I would become a Buddhist. I knew I would get back there. And when I opened that book 10 years later, I knew I was ready to receive some of the most, heartfelt and tender teachings of the Buddha.
That was a fun trip down memory lane. It's nice to be reminded of some of the stories we've seen before, right, Simon?
Sure. We learned a lot from those guys over the course of the series, and I'm glad we have a compilation of it all. But now let's take a look at the students of Paran.
That's right. We'll be following a group of students who are developing the play Luna, where a dog misinterprets its owner leaving on vacation as abandonment.
Wait, that's quite a sad topic.
Well, I heard it was a light comedy, so I'm sure that you'll be fine, buddy. Now let's go check it out.
Hi, my name is Marcus. My role is the director for Luna. I think for me, a director is you really need to find have a creative process, and you'll need to really communicate with your writer and to see if you're doing things right and make sure that the writer knows what you're doing, and so you're not really destroying what they've really created.
My name is Jenny. I wrote the script for Luna. It took me about 2 weeks altogether to write the script. I was sitting in my room one day and I had no idea what am I going to write about because it was due in 3 weeks. And then I just saw my dog look at me, and then we kind of had a little stare off, and I'm like, wait, I could write about you and how you make me feel and what our relationship is. So I just wrote about my dog, but I made the dog a female instead of a male. So yeah.
Hi, my name's Amy Gray. My role in this production is Luna in Luna. When I first read this script, I thought it was really sweet because a lot of the other plays in this show are quite serious, and it's nice to have something that's lighthearted to kind of break it, you know?
My name's Elite. My role in this production is I'm an actor. I play John. When I first read the script, it was different to the other scripts put forward. It was more light-hearted than the others, so that's kind of what made me choose it. The entire cast prepares kind of the same way. We all have like a 30-minute routine that we do. This involves the voice and then movement and then just breathing.
We prepare for our roles in a few different ways. We do a thing called hot seating, where you'll sit in a chair and people will ask you questions and you have to answer in character, so you really learn like how your character thinks. You get really into it. We also do uniting. It's one of the first things we do. We unit a script. Every time your character's objective changes, you draw a line so that your script is cut into what you want, like what your character wants. Sometimes to prepare for a character role, you need to do research if it's from a certain time period, but if it's not, like for mine, I'm playing a dog. So there's certain things that dogs do. Like I was watching some videos of dogs and I have a dog. So sometimes when you talk to a dog and they're listening to you, you can see their like head tilts. They're like, oh, what are you saying? And so we're trying to incorporate that into the roles, like little things that dogs do, little character quirks.
At this point, we haven't really found any clashes. I think we've both agreed on things that we've seen and we've had similar ideas, but we've found some way to try and agree on things.
What got me into theatre arts was I was into dance when I was a kid. I did a lot of dance and theatre, and then I just continued it like through high school and everything, and I just really love it.
I joined theatre arts because I loved theatre since I was young when my uncle took me to see a play. So I've always wanted to be associated with theatre since I was really young.
The most exciting part is being challenged artistically with what we can and can't do, and just the camaraderie around your other castmates and stuff. So for me personally, it's kind of just been like getting out of the comfort zone, and you know, I'm usually quite an introverted person, and this kind of pushes you outside of that. So yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. I am very excited to see what Luna will look like in a couple of months. And
I'm really excited to see it because I'm only going to be in the rehearsals for the first couple of things, and then Marcus, the director, will take over. So I'm really excited to see what it's going to be at the end when they're going to perform it.
Well, those guys seem pretty excited about the whole process.
Yeah, they really do. I like that. It's always good to see people talk about their passion.
Indeed, and here's my passion. I like taking a break, so we'll be right back.
Yep, and after the break, we'll catch up with Scott Burns and learn about their favourite place.
Also, we'll be taking a look at all the past bands we've had on the show, so be sure to stick around.
And welcome back, guys.
And what a solid break. Up next, though, we'll be visiting Scott Burns, owner of Rock the Bows, as he shows us his favourite place.
My name is Scott Brian Tour Burns. I've been living in Melbourne for a good at least 10 years now. I've been chefing since 2004. That's my art, that's my job, what I do for a living. The cooking style that I do now is unpretentious, real streety, no nonsense, but good looking. Daniel Marcus for me, you know, like there's either you're getting some really good curries, some really good Thai food, some really good Vietnamese food, or you're getting burgers and pizza. So that's where I draw inspiration from, because it's not about the fit out. It's not about the tattooed kid behind the counter. It's not about the hip hop or, you know, whatever music they're playing in the place. I draw inspiration from fresh produce and really not stripping back too much of as far as flavors goes or complicating it too much. Just more or less just focusing more on just humble flavors that don't freak people out, but I like to push flavors that people recognize, but then put a twist on it. It's not about the business model, it's about someone just cooking because they know that that food is good and that whoever gets it will get it.
Well, that was pretty chill. I might head down there if I ever get a chance.
Right on. Well, that's it, guys. This is the end of PolyWaffle.
Yeah, and it's time for us to go. So if we don't see you again, good day, good ava, and good nighto.
Good nighto?
Look, I don't know, like, whatever. Look, we're all going to miss you guys.
Oh, wow. I'll miss you too, Simon. But before we go, we at PolyWaffle would like to thank Channel 31 for airing the show, and we would also like to thank Melbourne Polytechnic for facilitating the students and making the show possible.
And a big shout out to all our previous guests for sharing their stories with us and for you guys at home.
And now, as a big thank you to all of our bands who played for our show, we present a compilation of all past performances. Finally, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Simon.
And thank you for watching PolyWaffle.
So many times I given up. Told myself I'm not the one now. I can't.
How do you measure a smile? How do you show people that?
This is a dark love story of a stranger kind, descendants of prepared.
Jardín desierto, ni una sola rosa en el suelo. Así quedó el encuentro. Desvanecieron poco a poco los deseos. Tanto amor para qué, si al final esa primera mirada desaparece.
You're leaving, but don't leave me now. I'm getting closer, your heart is fading out. You should probably go. Didn't mean it like that, I know. Stop pushing me out. Just say that you love me. Don't make this our last goodbye.
Nimble like a little cunning alley cat, I sneak up upon you like a heart attack. My claws are poison pointed to get hooked into you. Don't get too close, my dear, I likely say that hiding.
Me, one of these moves, yeah. I just wanna share that with you, girl. Me, one of these moves, yeah. I just wanna share that with you.
Forget about my color and where I come from, my beliefs and my religion. Can't we all just get along just for one song? The vibe's strong and I know we got it going on.